Hi guys, and welcome back to another Champions League prediction video. And is there a tough weekend for the team on my top? I'm not too sure. They've got a tough fixture and I've got a funny feeling. But let's have a look at what we did last time out. Well, we only got one score correct, which is pretty disappointing. 2-0 to Inter Milan against Victoria Plzen. I mean, I'm happy to get one. I'd like to get about 3 or 4. But I feel like I'm struggling with the Champions League. I feel like a lot of teams that meet in the group stages, there's such a gulf in class between a lot of them that it could go any way. And then again, when teams look tightly contested, there tends to be a bit of a surprise. So it's really hard to call. You sort of know what team's going to win, but you can never really guess by how many. It is difficult. But I'm hoping we can get some more right here. Now, before we get into it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more Champions League content. Let's get into my predictions. And we start off with Group A, where Ajax take on Napoli and Liverpool take on Rangers. Now, last time out, Liverpool managed to beat Ajax 2-1. A very late goal got them the win, and they didn't look convincing again. They haven't looked convincing all season, but they got the job done. Napoli have won both fixtures. They've looked like the best side in the group quite comfortably. Now, for the first fixture, I see Napoli getting all 3 points in a 2-1 victory. And Liverpool v Rangers, the atmosphere will be immense. But Rangers have struggled. They've lost both their opening games. And I think at Anfield, even though Liverpool haven't been great this season, they'll get the win. 2-1 to Liverpool. Now in Group B, Club Brugge take on Atletico Madrid, whilst Porto take on Bayer Leverkusen. Now there were some real shocks in round 2. Club Brugge beat Porto 4-0. Bayer Leverkusen beat Atletico 2-0. Didn't see either of those results coming. Very surprising. And Club Brugge have won both their games. They've been very good. I fancy them to win it, but I know what Simeone can do with this Atletico side. Imagining it now, I can see it, them being very, very hard to break down, putting everyone behind the ball, probably getting a counter-attack. Club Brugge maybe getting one. So for that one, I'll go 1-1. Porto v Leverkusen, again, difficult to tell. Leverkusen are having a difficult time in the league. I think I'm going to go for the same there as well. So both games, 1-1. Group C next, where Bayern Munich take on Victoria Plzen and Inter Milan take on Barcelona. Last time out, Bayern Munich and Inter Milan both picked up 2-0 victories. The Bayern v Barcelona one probably could have went either way. Beforehand anyway, Barca were very good in that game from what I can remember as well, but Bayern Munich were just clinical. They got their goals. Not a happy return for Lewandowski, back against Bayern Munich. But this time I see Bayern Munich getting a comfortable win. I think they'll win 3-0 against Victoria Plzen. And then Inter Milan v Barcelona. If this was last season, I'd have probably favoured a draw. But this season, Barcelona are on fire. I saw a post the other day saying that the most assists in their team belong to Baldi and Fati, which I quite liked. I thought that was quite comical. Anyway, Barcelona to win that one, 3-1. Group D next. And you have to say, this is probably the group where you'd expect the winner of the competition not to come from. Looks like a pretty stale group. And I think the teams are quite evenly matched. I don't know if I'm being a bit harsh on Spurs there. or maybe Sporting CP because they've started very well. But Marseille take on Sporting CP and Frankfurt take on Spurs. Now Sporting CP have started very well, won both, beat Spurs last time 2-0. From what I can remember, they got both goals in injury time. Very strange. Sporting CP, I think, will be able to beat Marseille 2-1. And Frankfurt, I fancy to get a point off Spurs because Antonio Conte's Champions League resume doesn't read very well. So for Frankfurt v Spurs, I'm going to go 1-1. Group E next. Dinamo Zagreb are away at Red Bull Salzburg, whilst AC Milan travel to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea. Now this looks like a pretty tough group. It's definitely, looking tight there. Chelsea are actually bottom. They lost to Dinamo Zagreb and then drew against Salzburg. And you'd think AC Milan are probably the hardest team to face out of the three, or at least the team with the most quality on the pitch. So it makes this very difficult. Now Zagreb are very good at home. I think that's probably where they're going to get most of their points. And I quite like Red Bull Salzburg. They're quite an exciting team. They always seem to have the next best something. Always someone in a different position that's brilliant playing for them at every single moment in time. It's quite crazy. And I think Red Bull Salzburg will get the victory against Zagreb 2-1. Now Chelsea v AC Milan is a tough one to call. Chelsea under Potter, they won in the league. They got a point in the Champions League in his first game. I'm not sure how they're going to set up yet. It's looking... I think he still needs to sort of implement himself onto that squad because everyone's been on an international break. I think they will become a force, become hard to beat again. But for this one, I think, at Stamford Bridge, I'd always give Chelsea the advantage, but I really like the look of AC Milan. So I'm going to go down the middle, 1-1. Group F next, where Red Bull Leipzig take on Celtic, and Shakhtar Donetsk, for probably the 50th Champions League season in a row, travel to Real Madrid in the group stages. How many times is this a fixture? It seems ridiculous. It seems like they get them every year. Now to start off, Leipzig were good at the weekend, won 4-0, 2 goals from Werner, 2 goals from Nkunku. And I think a lot of the good that's going to come from Leipzig this season will be from those two players. They are quality players, and I think going forward, they're the players who are going to be decisive. They're up against the Celtic side that are very good in the league, have 1 point so far in this Champions League group stage, a draw against Shakhtar. Leipzig have lost both, but I just fancy, I don't know why, I fancy Leipzig to win it. So I'm going to go Leipzig to win 2-1. And then for Real Madrid versus Shakhtar Donetsk, I can't see anything other than a Real Madrid victory here. Shakhtar have started a lot better than they ever seem to. A win and a draw. Real Madrid have won both. I think Real Madrid will make it 3 here. So Real Madrid to win 3-1. Group G next, and the winner could definitely come from this group. I'm looking at one team in particular. Man City take on Copenhagen, and Sevilla take on Dortmund. And yes, of course, I'm talking about Copenhagen. Man City are incredible. They battered Man United at the weekend. Yes, Man United ended up with 3 goals. Man City were 4-0 up at half time. They took their foot off the gas a bit. Pep will be annoyed. It will have frustrated him to concede those goals. Wasn't really a 6-3. Man City battered them in every single way. It should have been probably about 8-0. But that man, Haaland, with a hat-trick. Foden also got a hat-trick, but Haaland out of the 6, was involved in 5, 3 goals, 2 assists. He is looking like an absolute monster. I don't think I've ever been this excited about a player at a new team. He is going to break records. If he stays there for, 6, 7 seasons, he's going to have a lot of records. He's already breaking a lot of records. Scored 3 consecutive home hat-tricks in the Premier League. He is now level with Ronaldo and Vardy for hat-tricks in the Premier League. He's played 8 games. It's scary. Man City against Copenhagen. I think I'm going to go Man City to win 4-0. But Haaland will probably have 1 touch and score 6 goals. Don't know how the maths adds up, but he's just that good. Now Sevilla take on Dortmund, and Sevilla have really struggled in the league. They're not having a great season at all. Dortmund, a little bit flaky, lost at the weekend. I think Dortmund have the quality, and I think they will manage to take all 3 points. Dortmund to win 2-0. Group H, final group, Benfica take on PSG and Juventus take on Maccabi Haifa. Now, I see some upsets here. Benfica and PSG have won both games. Juventus and Maccabi Haifa have both lost both games. So, let's start off with the 2 losers. Juventus haven't been doing great at all. They do not look any good at all under Allegri. I don't really know what to say about them. They just don't look good. Maccabi Haifa can't really talk too much about. Domestically, I'm not too sure what they're doing. Champions League, they've obviously lost both their games. It makes sense. It's like Sheriff last season that were here. If they can pick up any points against some of Europe's elite, goes down in their record books. It's a brilliant thing to do. But they're not going to get out of this group. However, I think their first point is coming here. I don't know why, I've just got a feeling that they're going to shock Juventus with a 1-1 draw. On to the winners, Benfica versus PSG. Benfica I've been impressed with. PSG are obviously a very good side, they've got ridiculous quality. That is, you can't argue with that, that's fact. But in the Champions League, they always seem to have these funny results in them. And I've got a feeling that they're not going to win this game. I think Benfica at home, they're going to go for it. PSG are one of the 2 favourites to win this tournament. So I just think Benfica are going to want to give their all this game and try and say, yeah, we're here to qualify. And if they can win this, they're pretty close to qualification with Juventus, currently being on no points. So I'm going to go, not for a Benfica win, not for a PSG win either. I'm going to go down the middle again. 2 shocking results for this group, but down the middle, 2-2. So, those are my predictions for these upcoming Champions League fixtures. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on another Champions League video.